Good morning. Today is 25th of July, and now I am doing video presentation for the last paper, which is D12, Building Technology 2 of the Part 2, level of Diploma in Estate Agency examination conducted by the Board of Valuers, Appraisers, Estate Agents, and Property Managers. So I've done the Part 1 video presentation earlier on, and I want to emphasize the fact that Part 1 and Part 2 for the paper D06 and D12, they are actually quite similar building technology related paper. Both are 2 hours paper and to do answer for 4 out of 7 questions. Let me go in. So this is the syllabus for Building Technology 2. Compared to Building Technology 1, Building Technology 2 has a bit more things that is not covered in the Building Technology 1, but there are overlapping areas. So just to summarize this, principle of modern building construction for low-rise domestic building, commercial and industrial building, including sites consideration, seating of building, spatial and physical requirement and comfort standard of environment, functions of building and building elements, including foundation, work and roof. So this part is actually quite repeating for part 1, because part 1 is also about the modern building construction and also related to foundation, wall, roof. So this relation to part 1, in fact, gets you some people to confuse whether should I go back to part 1, study the part 1, and part 1 question will be repeated in part 2. The answer is yes. Some of the questions in part 1 are repeated in part 2. So you need to go back to part 1 and study the part 1 on certain areas like foundation, wall, roof. So roof is in particular are repeated in both part 1 and part 2. Foundation is also part 1 and part 2, but foundation in part 2 is more to high-rise building, more to deep foundation, more complex foundation, rather than part 1, which is the easy foundation like piles, street foundation, pad foundation. Yeah. So second part is that the material use, properties and uses of basic materials commonly used in construction elements and appropriate finishing and fitting. So in this area, the element use are also repeated in part 1. Basically, same thing, reinforced concrete between frame of frame building using reinforced concrete or using steel as a frame, and all the different choices between why you use material A versus material B. So this is quite common asked in part 2, but not so much in part 1. So part 1, they are asked about other types of material, like for example, using material in the form of tiles or mosaic or flooring using timber, like that type of question used to come out in part 1. Part 2 is more like general knowledge on engineering, civil engineering, why reinforced concrete is used, why steel is used, and timber is used. Third is the design and construction of drainage system, septic tank, domestic building. This one I already highlighted in part 1, where part 2, building technology 2, actually involve an area you cannot see, because building technology 1 talks about building that usually you can see, like roof you can see, staircase you can see, door you can see, but probably the piping system you can't see, all is embedded or actually covered up inside the building, either on top of the ceiling, or it is actually hidden underneath the building. So all these underneath the building, drainage system, septic tank, all this you cannot see in the building, plumbing system. So all these you cannot see. So these are asked in part 2. So part 2 actually consists of another area where water, air, septic tank, and pollution, that is not asked in part 1. And then the regulation and code of practice. Sometimes this type of question, consent required for and control applying to building works, building regulation, bylaws, and code of practice. This type of question seldom come out. So the nearest to this type of area is like, okay, fire escape. So there are requirements for fire escape, travel distance, direct distance. These are questions that actually has been asked before. So this is more related to, well, regulation. So you must have how many doors in the building where, or a room where you have more than six people going inside. Like say you have a boardroom has got 6 chairs. So that type of boardroom, you need to have how many doors? Now you have 12 chairs or 16 chairs inside a big boardroom. So you need to have how many doors so that in case of fire escape, then those inside the room can escape to the nearest exit. So this is what is required. So it's building by law, and in the building technology too, it is mentioned, but then seldom question like this come out. It's more like just where there is a number of doors per number of inhabitants inside the building. So let me just go through again overview. It is an extension of building technology one, easy and straightforward. Actually, one of the easiest subject in part two, and then you need to do some drawings. And then how different is it from part one? Later we'll go to another slide to see the difference. The extra areas, like I said just now, plumbing jobs, timber preservation, deep foundation, air ventilation. These are all sometimes you can see. Sometimes you cannot see like deep foundation, all these foundation works, you probably can't see as in a normal, even go to the site. You cannot see how deep, you just know that there's some foundation done. Air ventilation, usually ducting, all these usually hidden also inside the ceiling. Okay, this is the one that I want to emphasize. Building technology too, it involves water treatment. Sometimes they ask about how to do filtration, how to produce drinking water. So this type of question will come out. Septic tank, siphonage. Let's say you have a certain overflow of your septic tank. Then this septic tank during heavy monsoon downpour, it will be flooded. So the waste inside, the tide and all the human waste inside would actually float out. So if they float out, go to the drain, and then going into the same water system, it's going to pollute drinking water. So all these are issues about back siphonage and all these treatment of water. Waste pipe and soil pipe in the building, you usually have two system of piping. So these are not mixed. One is the waste pipe about kitchen, maybe your bathtub, all these are the waste that comes from the kitchen. But then the soil pipe is the one that is the toilet, where the water together with the sheets goes to the septic tank. And then one stack or two stack system. So there is a two stack and one stack system. Last time in tall building, usually you can see all these uh, piping system from the wall outside. One stretch down from the top of the building down to the bottom of the building. So all connecting each level of the building to drain the water or the waste system. Deep foundation, ventilation, and environmental pollution. So this is in part two. Whereas in part one, it's mostly about certain physical thing that you can see inside the building, like a door, window, stairs, certain thing that you probably also can see in the wall, like different type of bricks, bonding of the bricks, the wood joints. So part two, usually you have repeat on overlapping area like foundation work, like different elements used like flooring, suspended timber flooring also can come out in part two. But then usually all these water related piping and then plumbing job will not be asked in part one, but only in part two. Good. I'd like to say that any repeat topic that come out in the exam, it's nothing to do with me, and then it's just coincidence entirely by chance that this analysis may actually have similar repeat topics coming out in the exam. Well, as you can see, this is the analysis from 2011 to 2018. So there are 5 areas that I have highlighted that would have a repeat topic. Let me go in for these 5 areas. So one is, as I said just now, the water treatment, sewage, wastewater disposal, wastewater drainage, water treatment, siphonage. This is always repeat question, always repeat topic. And then second is foundation types, usually deep foundation, types of deep foundation, and then can be asked about why a condominium needs this type of foundation or bridges. And third is the material use, which is talking about different types of reinforced concrete, timber, structural steel, and things like that, rather than the part one, which is about concreting, how to get the concrete, strong concrete, dense concrete versus the normal partition wall. So number four is roofing. Usually they will ask about roofing in part two, about different structure of roof. Like in the factory, then you use certain type of portal roofing, and then for a reason that it can span very wide area without support in the middle lah, because your factory you housing certain big machinery ma, so you cannot have a lot of poles and a lot of beam supports that would inhibit interfere with your machinery location. And then number five is area where things like talk about pollution, waste preservation of timber. So number five, I would recommend that if you do not have the time, just omit. Just concentrate in the first four, because you need four questions to answer only. Right. So let's go in and understand a bit about this question type. Usually the question type is narrative, meaning to say ask to explain the pipeline system, sewage system, water processing for drinking. So it's a staging of the stages, not staging, the stages of processes from A to B to C to D. So this is common when they ask questions like describe, explain a bit, and then give a picture, and then show. So this type of narrative question. Second type is you have to draw something and then you have to explain in more detail. So factors influencing choice of foundation, material use. So sometimes you need to explain with drawing, sometimes you do not need. And in fact, some people who doesn't like to draw, this will be one type of question you can target lah. Maybe one part a bit of drawing, second part a lot of writing. So factors influencing choices. So this one you do not need to draw very much. Whereas the question type one, the narrative type, usually you need to explain by drawing, meaning to say you draw out the piping system, then you say what is the difference between the diagram A and diagram B. So that is a bit more of drawing. Type 2 is a bit less drawing. Then type 3 is actually essay writing. So it's more like, okay, how to do site investigation, or how to plan for taking soil sample. Like you need to know how to do foundation design, and during the briefing designing stage of the construction, you need to do site investigation, soil type that determines your foundation depth, and also types of foundation. So all those things is more like essay writing. So that is least common. So usually one question like that, but then most question you come into type 1 or type 2. So narrative, you do drawing and writing, as I said just now, meaning to say you have some drawing, emphasize in drawing, nice drawing, and then do some little explanation. Explanation illustrate means you do drawing, you do writing. Drawing may not be that detailed, but then at least a certain drawing, certain parts need to be there, and then you need to give reasoning. Management operation like diagram, or mainly writings, and then job floors, stage A, stage B, stage C. So understanding the examiner is important because the examiner doesn't want to spend too much time marking the paper. So as we all know, examiner are busy people also. So what they want to see is a good drawing if you are attempting a drawing question. So there is a diagram, you need to draw a diagram. So on one glance, he can tell whether you can draw or not. So if you can draw well, this is a type you can score. Because the examiner see your drawing already say, okay, this one pass. So he will have a leniency in giving marks much higher than normal. But if you see a lousy drawing, then the thing is, okay, this one fail. So whatever you write inside, maybe explaining in a very nice way, he will not pay much attention. So the understanding of examiner, you need to choose the question, and then if you can really draw well, draw the diagram or the picture well, image well, and then do a simple explanation, and then that's all. And then move on to the next question. So trying your luck to get the best drawing, targeting on the repeat topics, then you can draw well in the exam. So the target is to do a diagram, drawing, score, writing short, sweet and straightforward score, and then give reasoning why you choose it. Like say for example just now, why you choose a sliding window over an awning window. Then you have to give example lah. I choose to do this because there is people passerby. I need to go to garden. Sometimes all these protruding windows would have problem if I hit a danger. I get myself hurt. So these are reasons that you can give in the exam. So as you can see, question trends the trend number one is using material question, foundation question. So this one, choice of steel reinforced concrete, timber, in situ cast structure of building. Usually come out with one or two questions. Trend number two is that they will still ask things about roof especially roof and then floor finishes. So this one is a repeat of part one. So part one and part two repeats a lot on roof and floor. Third is all the water related, water treatment, septic tank, water treatment cycle, how to do filtration, what are the sediments, how to have drinking water. So this is question three, so essay writing plus some chart. Number four is those related to, building by law like travel distance, fire escape hazard landfill incinerator, site operation. These are more like theory based question. So if you can target one area that comes up with two questions, another other two questions can come out from any of the combination here. So based on last few years of checking the questions, these are the likelihood. The most common question topic out is the structural question. Structure means building structure, building structure question. Second is foundation question. Third is the roof and third is the water pipes system, and then four is the roof. So if you target all these four areas, you should be able to pass easily. So structure, they will ask like, okay, reinforced concrete, steel or timber, structure of wall, beams and slabs. Foundation, they will ask about shallow and then maybe mention one deep foundation, choice of foundation and soil type. Of course, if it is a strong floor, a very stable, good soil, then the foundation would be different compared to a terrible with the sinkholes, all these X mining area. So in KL, there's a lot of X mining ponds. So if there are construction of condominium around this area, then definitely different. There will be emphasis on the foundation work. Water pipes, water treatment, septic tank, single stack, one stack, or two pipe system. Roof type, flat and versus pitch roof, portal frame roof, or different types of roof drawings. Lettuce types of roof drawings you need to draw out and practice in the free time so that you can go in and examine and then see this particular drawing just construct without even having to think what it is. Maintenance and performance of this is essay type. So they may ask you to draw the roof, and after that they say what type of material will be your choice for the roof. You can use metal base, or you can use tile base type of roof. Normal pitch roof in a residential area would be just the ceramic tile roof. But then in more recent years, there will be spandex, which is the metal roofing. One piece metal roofing, better, but then more sound because the soundproof effect is less compared to the ceramic tile roofs. So, okay, examination management is 30 minutes per question for 4 out of 7 questions, 2 hours paper. Drawings, color pencil again, marker pen if you have. Sometimes marker pen, you have to be careful because marker pen, some of the inks can be very porous. It goes through the paper. Then you actually have dots on the answers that you had beneath. So if you are writing and then you are using color pencil to draw on another piece of paper above your answers, then you find out that in eventual time you collect your papers and then do the uh, do the paper arrangement, certain parts of your answers will have ink marks, stands, which is not good. So you have to be careful when you use marker pen in the exam. Ruler and labels. Normal. This one is some people they never bring ruler to the exam because every time they just freehand uh, line drawing. And this is quite bad, especially in drawing inside the exam where you are doing a building technology paper. So the lecturer or the marker, they are very particular about drawing this one because their specialty and their area of expertise is about building and building drawing. So if they see a terrible drawing and people don't even bring ruler, then definitely it upsets them. So don't do a freehand line drawing inside the exam unless your drawing is so nice that everything is so orderly, and then your freehand line drawing is so beautiful, it's like an architect drawing, then of course it's another story lah. So next is the short writing to explain. Don't do a lot of very messy writing because your marker, they are busy people, they are probably lecturer in the architect school, so they probably are also uh, very straightforward type of person. So don't go and explain in two pages of foolscap just to try and show that you are good in writing. No need, just do a simple one, two sentence explanation. And then if you need to illustrate your understanding, then give some scenario and then just short answers. So I just summarize. This is the area where I have gone through, right? Syllabus, overview, types of question, narrative, explanation, illustration, management type of question with essay writing. Then methods in the exam, drawing, diagram, illustration. You need to bring color, pencil, ruler. Writing short sentences, explaining your thing clear and straightforward. And then repeat areas, repeat topics, usually four: foundation work, material used in building, floor, wall, roof, and then water, sewage. And if it comes out, some of the other sub areas like ventilation, fire escape, bylaws, and etc. Thank you very much for following the video. And I would say that estateagentexam.com is a online system for studying of the diploma in estate agency examination conducted by the Board of Valuer, Appraiser, Estate Agent, and Property Managers in Malaysia. My tagline is know your position, crystallize your vision and mission, and then to be different. Thank you very much. This is the last video for the presentation slide series. I will do further videos when I see the needs of a better knowledge area where I find it more useful, then I will only maybe embark on doing another series of more detailed videos. Thank you very much.